Xiaomi 17 on paper has a lot more to offer compared to the Galaxy S26, better camera hardware, larger battery capacity, and a better 10-bit display. To test all of these and more, I'm going to spend a day in the life in Vienna together with Maria to see which phone is a better choice. I started the day on a sunny morning. I put a 5G SIM card on both phones, and before I started shooting the video, Xiaomi already lost the first battery percentage. I then played YouTube Shorts for around an hour on Wi-Fi connection, and by the end of it, the Galaxy S26 had 95% and Xiaomi had 94% battery left. I then went outside to meet Maria for a photo shoot and decided to navigate my journey via Google Maps, which was a combination of train and bike ride. Also, here I did notice the Xiaomi 17 can push the brightness level slightly more than the Galaxy. I arrived at the Botanical Gardens before meeting Maria and I started taking photos. Both phones have a triple camera setup, an ultra-wide, a wide, and a telephoto sensor. And the main lens in 4K video mode, they are creating very similar colors with Galaxy being slightly more vivid. By the way, I'm using the Exynos version for Galaxy and global variant for Xiaomi if you need to know. For photos too, the colors on Galaxy are more vivid, especially since I'm using Leica Authentic mode here on the Xiaomi phone. Switching to Leica Vibrant, the Xiaomi becomes the more saturated colors one, so the Galaxy S26 is sitting somewhere between Leica Authentic and Leica Vibrant in terms of color saturation. For the sake of comparison, I'll keep Xiaomi on Leica Authentic from now on. Xiaomi has a larger telephoto lens compared to the one on the Galaxy. That said, I do feel there is a bit of a haze on the telephoto shots on Xiaomi for some reason, despite the fact I made sure the lenses are clean. At least during daylight here, I do prefer the Galaxy S26 zoom shots. The image processing aside, the Xiaomi 17 obviously does have a better optical quality when it comes to telephoto camera. For example, if we zoom in here, you can see the statue on the Xiaomi is not pixelated like it is on the Galaxy S26. And on ultrawide, the photos look more or less similar to each other. I met Maria in the park near the Opera House to start our photo shoot for a couple of videos. Right now, the Galaxy is at 84% and Xiaomi at 86% battery. The Xiaomi has a bit of a rounded corners on the screen. Both phones are now 6.3 inches. Design-wise, the Galaxy has a classic 3 cameras tucked into corner kind of design, but Xiaomi has this Chinese phone's look with a big camera island, which helps fitting a larger camera sensor. This is Maria for reference in this specific lighting, shot on a full-frame Sony camera. On the main lens, you can see that the larger sensor on Xiaomi means you get more background blur, which is nice for portrait shots. The face skin tone processing on the phones also can't be any more different. The Galaxy has a cold tone here, while the Xiaomi is lifting the face with unique Xiaomi Leica color processing. For my skin tone too, the Xiaomi is definitely on the warmer side, while Galaxy is a tad colder. For video too, the Galaxy has a bit more magenta and is colder in general compared to the warmer skin tone that Xiaomi is doing here. Xiaomi also has a larger telephoto camera, which means the bokeh on that too is better than what you get on Galaxy. Hate it or love it, it does have a unique color and processing for Maria's skin tone here too. On this video with the telephoto lens, the Galaxy is a bit overexposed and the details on the Xiaomi are simply better. For portrait mode with artificial depth, I do find Xiaomi doing a slightly better job here, as all Chinese phones do for some reason. None of the phones have a selfie camera to brag on. They are not particularly wide either. Looking at the selfie photo, I do find the Xiaomi to be slightly more pleasing, with Galaxy over-sharpening the image a bit. We continued our walk to Albertina to have a view over the Vienna Opera House and take some pictures in the evening light. The white balance is more of a magenta tone on Xiaomi, while the white balance on Galaxy is more green. Xiaomi also tends to have a more contrasty look, while Galaxy leaves the shadows uniformly in the photos. The contrast on Xiaomi can make the photo look a bit darker, but it also gives it more character in my opinion, and the photo is less flat. The Xiaomi has a certain vibe to this picture. I kind of like it, especially the contrasty look makes it more a camera photo than a phone photo. On this 3x zoom picture, you can very clearly see the Xiaomi telephoto camera is much better than what Galaxy's outdated telephoto camera can offer. For the video with the main lens on 2x zoom, once again the Galaxy is overexposing the video a bit. This is something I observed a lot more on the Exynos variant compared to the Snapdragon. We then went inside to have a coffee at my favorite cafe. I just love the cafes of Vienna, each of them have a unique decor and an old established culture. Meanwhile, I let both ones play YouTube shorts in the background. For this food shot, the colors on the Xiaomi are richer and more true to the tone. Here, both of them have a blurry picture of Maria moving, but at least her face is not as blurry on the Xiaomi. For this indoor shot, I do find Xiaomi creating better colors again, thanks to a larger sensor and gathering more light. We left the cafe as it was getting dark and now the Galaxy has 62% battery left, while Xiaomi has 67% battery left. I then decided to take some night photos too. On this picture, I can see very clearly again that Xiaomi is nicer and higher quality. The larger sensor is once again helping. On 5x zoom, I surprisingly find the Galaxy photo to be better though. On the ultrawide, none of them created something to be bragged about, but I do find the Galaxy photo to be more blurry. For video at night too, I do find Galaxy to have a better processing, especially if you look at the lights in the back, the Xiaomi is overexposing them while Galaxy is keeping the information nicely. I then took the train back home as it was getting really late. I uploaded all the photos to Google Drive on both phones. As a quick note, I'm going to upload all photos including the ones that didn't make it into the video in Google Drive for members of the channel. If you want to support us, please consider becoming a member by clicking on Join button to access those original files. After upload had ended, the Galaxy had 43%, while Xiaomi had 54% battery left. The Galaxy comes in two variants. North America and China get the Snapdragon 8 Generation 5 Galaxy Edition, while global is Exynos 2600. I did run a Geekbench to compare the performance of Galaxy S26 Exynos versus the Xiaomi 17 Snapdragon, and a single core the Xiaomi 17 got a better score by a large margin of 3540 versus 3096, while on multi-core the Galaxy won. Overall, in daily basis, you won't notice much of a difference. After everything had finished, the Galaxy ended the test with 39%, while Xiaomi ended the test with 52% battery left, which is a big win for Xiaomi. Xiaomi 17 is showing having larger battery and better camera hardware matters, and it is not only numbers on the spec sheets. The Leica collaboration also is giving a unique look to Xiaomi photos. Galaxy S26 didn't improve much in the past few generations. It is still a decent phone, and One UI is the main selling point, but I do hope Samsung starts to give some love to the base models too, like how Apple, for example, created this new selfie camera for base iPhone 17 series. If you want to see how the Xiaomi 17 compares to the iPhone 17, you can watch this video next. Thanks for tuning into TechMo, and I will see you in the next one.